Wally's back in business.
Wally's alive.
And then I need a kistочка. Take a look at these taillights. So we're gonna get the quarter panel welded in. What's up guys, welcome back to a brand new episode from Backyard Boys. If you guys are new to this channel, lightly tap the subscribe button. If you guys are enjoying the content, smash that like button. And don't forget to show me some support on Instagram at BYBTim. Prior to starting off this video, I did want to say a humongous shout out to Marsha Marho for sponsoring this video. Let's continue with the video. I'm gonna go ahead and explain what is going on and why we did what we did. We've been struggling with this trunk for probably the last 3 days. This trunk here is twisted. I said it in the last video, and I thought we can fix it by, you know, playing with these hinges a little bit, playing with the lock, playing with little spacers, and just kind of getting the trunk twisted back into spec. But we couldn't get it. The reason why it's twisted is this. Take a look here. You see this cutout? This that was cut out right here is the structural strength of the trunk, which means this trunk now is absolutely flimsy. It's super flimsy. We can twist it like this, super easy, and it's twisted already a little bit. So let me show you guys what I mean by that. I'm gonna go ahead and close it. Okay, and then take a look here. Take a close little look here. You guys see how high it sits here, right? It's sitting high, definitely. Go look on the driver's side. You can see that it's sitting lower, just about lower, if not semi-flush. And then if you look at this, you step back all the way here, you can see that this right here should be equal with this trunk, and you can see it gets tighter here and looser here. You see that on camera?
Yes, sir.
So you can see it's twisted. Initially, the trunk was so bad, it was literally like that right there. We tried to twist it back and stuff like that. If you even look at one of the thumbnails, I think there's a tire right here. We left the tire sitting overnight and propped that side up just to get the twist on it so we can weld the quarter panel in and make sure that quarter panel sits in perfect spec. But we failed to do so, so we picked up a new trunk right here. This trunk right here has the most slightest fiberglass damage you can think of right there, which is not a big deal whatsoever. But prior to welding that quarter panel on, what we gotta do is go ahead and swap this out, set gaps, tear everything apart, and finish our prep work, slap it together, and start tack welding in. So that's gonna be exciting. Let's go ahead and change the trunk out and then start measuring up the new taillights, making sure that everything fits. We got some super sick taillights, so stay tuned for that. Oh wow, look at this gap.
No, it's not half as bad.
Oh, this gap is nice. Alright. So
maybe we paint it white, the whole car.
yeah.
Match the cage.
That's kind of cool actually with the cage. Alright, so we got the new trunk on, and quickly I want to go through this because we have quite some work in this episode. We're going to get the quarter panel welded in. I want to show you guys here the gap. I have it taped down right now. We don't have a lock on the hinge, but take a look at that gap, make it nice and flush. It's super nice and even all throughout. We do have a little bit of damage right here, and I've noticed on M4s, this gap sometimes is bigger than this gap, and you can't really do anything about it because if you make this tighter, this gets really tight. So you kind of have to find a balance point. The quarter panel inside here is kind of empty, so you see that? It's weird. It's like a little floating piece, and then this trunk is made out of fiberglass, so it has it's not perfect. We're gonna go ahead and tape this down flat how it should be. So once everything's lined up, we're gonna toss the lock in there and take a look what it looks like, make sure it all lines up, which it should. There's no way that it shouldn't. Going on this side, the gap here is even as well. You see the height here, and you can see the gap from the beginning all the way to the end. It's flush. Everywhere it's looking good and very great. And the main concern was this here. This actually has to go just a tiny bit up. But the main concern here was this. This right here wasn't touching the molding, not the molding, the weather seal. And on top of that, it wouldn't line up with the trunk. You guys see these screws right here? This is the trunk bracket. Or not a trunk, sorry, rear bumper. Rear bumper bracket goes onto here and the bumper slides on, and this gap is set with the bumper, and if that's off, it looks really funky from the rear. So it's really crucial to get that perfect alongside with the weather seal. One last thing we gotta do is go ahead and check these taillight gaps out, make sure they are fitting up nice and tight over here. And that's where it gets very exciting, because shout out to Marshall Marho once again for these taillights. Take a look at these taillights. These are M4 GTS style taillights, and they have OEM fit, plug and play. They're absolutely stunning. It's probably one of my favorite cosmetic mods, exterior aesthetic mods to the vehicle. It's just beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful. You guys should see how they light up as well. It has like this sequential glow from here back. We should probably fire up here once we get the taillights on. You guys will see just kind of how pretty this looks. But besides that, Marshall Marho does have anything from stock to performance to mods to cosmetics to lips to tuner parts for BMW. So check them out. Use code BACKYARDBOYS for 5% off anything on their website. So yeah, just browse down there. The links can be down in my description box. Browse through it, give it a little support on Instagram. Follow Marshall Marho. He posts some cool content. And what we're gonna do right now is go ahead and put these taillights on, confirm that this gap here is nice with this and this taillight, and we're ready to tear all this apart, do our final prep, and just overhaul the welding part. Let's hit it. So look at that taillight gap. It's fitting nice and beautiful. Right here is the back bumper reinforcement piece. This right here is gonna get repaired. We had to pull this out here. See if our pulling was any good. This goes all the way up here, so we gotta move that stuff out of the way. There it is, guys. This stuff is like spitting seeds at this point. I mean, it's straightforward, pretty easy. We got everything lined up. I mean, it's just looking right on the money. You know, once you do this a million times, you kind of know what to look for, you know, things to look for, and you kind of know how things are gonna line up. So as you guys can see, the bumper clipped in, just absolutely stunning. It's nice and perfect here. Gap throughout underneath here is nice and even all the way through. Look at that. Nice. A lot of times I see people rebuild cars and this gap under here looks like Himalayan mountains or something. Don't look pretty. Gap here is nice and pretty, all the way even. So we're all set. We're all set to disassemble this thing. Well, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and put some self-tapping screws throughout this quarter panel, and then disassemble this thing, disassemble that inside box we changed, prep everything. All this stuff is gonna be on a time lapse, so we're not gonna waste your time. Let's go ahead and bust through that, prep all this. Next thing you're gonna catch us on is getting this welder out and starting to weld. So stay tuned, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's do it, dude. We got a lot of work. Actually, before we do that, you wanna show them taillights?
Yes, sir, here.
So look at the taillights, right? And then right here is gonna be a picture of factory taillights, what they look like on a pre-facelift 2015. So there's 3 types of taillights for this car. Factory taillights. Right? 3.
Yes, the stock ones
18
from
ones, 15, and then 18, and then GTS.
GTS and CS.
This is GTS and CS, same.
Yeah.
Okay, bet. All right, go. guess what? We got it all done. All welded in. Went ahead and flew right past that. Probably around 3 hours of welding. There's a lot to weld. I actually went ahead and did a little bonus and folded this already. That way tomorrow we come in and we can mud and seam seal right away. So I got one flash tap here and then another one. I use a little block of wood and then I dolly from the other side with the hammer. Just boom, 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 fold this whole edge. But yeah, we're super excited. All the gaps are sitting nice. The way how we lined it up initially, everything's lining up. The box is here. You know, it's firm in there. We got this all lined up, everything, and then this had some damage, so we may just glaze this, or we may not, or we may, I'm not sure, we'll see. But tomorrow what we're gonna do is go ahead and knock down all the welds, seam seal, get this thing mudded out, and basically ready for primer. So catch you guys then. All right, next morning here, we went ahead and busted out the 3 cuts. Everything is ready for body filler. The rest of the welds, the plug welds, all that stuff is grinded down and ready for seam sealer. But the order of operation is body filler first and then seam sealer next. So you guys can take a look at the 3 cuts, how they look like right now prior to body filling them. I'm gonna go ahead and mix some of this stuff up and go ahead and apply it. And while that's drying, we're gonna go ahead and get some lunch. So what do you say? Take it and show them what's popping. Show them how it's looking.
Bare metal, buddy.
Yeah. This I'm pushing in the glaze into the pinholes. And that way I don't end up like
Penny needles.
Penny needles, correct. Edward, correct. We are seam seal ready. It's freezing out here. Little update. Almost got my hand off. If you guys are following my Instagram at BYBTim, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But we got ourselves a brand new tube of seam seal up in here. Went ahead and cut it, so it's just about ready to start seam sealing. You guys can see everything here is taped off, making sure that we match the same thickness as on the other side. That way we are trying to, you know, copy everything as much as we could, to a point where if someone tears the bumper apart or tears anything apart, you won't really, it'd be hard to tell. Also, very important is to waterproof all of this stuff. This is the factory one that wasn't seam sealed prior to us, which it comes with these 2 pieces, but I don't know why they don't seam seal them for factory. But anyways, taped up under here, all the 3 transitions are done. And I'll show you guys my little techniques to get this seam seal and just this seam seal area here in general looking like the OEM one. So let's hop on right into it. And after this, we're ready for primer. Let's see if this, see, it's really thin right here. I might need to cut it a little bit because
Better flow.
better, yeah. And then I need a kistочка.
Sure thing.
guys, we got this thing masked off, and right now we're gonna go ahead and bag the thing and prime the entire quarter panel. And that's basically gonna be it for this episode. Went ahead and picked up some primer, picked up some tape because we ran out of tape, and I guess we're just about ready to bag the entire car, do our final cutting, final taping, cook up that primer, get it laid down, see what the final result looks like, show you guys how great this quarter panel turned out, and then on to the next episode where we paint the car and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and bag it. So we got the primer cooked up in there. It's all fresh and clean. We got our little Harbor Freight gun. It's about to look perfect right now. Let's go ahead and do that. Open this vent, stop vent. I'll just open it. I think it's locked up. All right, she good. Guess what, guys? Wally's back in business. Yo, hang on, hang on. Ooh. Get the other one? Oh.
Yeah, it's off.
Go ahead. Hold it, hold it. We're still good. I can get the other one. Wally's back in business.
Wally's alive.
It's that time of year. It's that time of year. So it's quarter panel is tacked up enough to where I can guide coat it. We're just using some black paint. This is some wheel coating. Ideally, you want to use something decent, that way it doesn't block up or like clog up the sandpaper. You don't want to use anything like trim black or anything like that because it's rubberized a little bit and it's just going to clog up the thing to a point where it's just, you're going to be going through sandpaper like crazy. This, from a distance, all we need to do is just overspray it, make sure that when we're blocking it we see any dents or anything like that. So I guess we'll just start from the bottom and just kind of do it like that, super far. Another thing this is really cool for is when you go to it's called Scotch-Brite, all these edges, you can kind of see where you missed it and where you didn't miss it. Like I'm saying, missed sanding it. That way everything adheres perfectly, because a lot of times when you go to sand this stuff, you can't really see. Look at that, bro. This coverage is pretty insane on this. All right, boys. We weren't really messing around with this video. We got everything done, and by everything I mean the quarter panel is primed, put together, gaps are set, everything's looking beautiful. As I mentioned 2 videos ago about this trunk, we're having an issue with it being twisted and damaged, hence why you see the gap here being completely off. So if you look here, look at that, trunk needs to be pushed in like that. It just opened up like this and it's twisted like this. It's a bad trunk. We're gonna get a new one. We do have that white one right there behind us, but that one also has very light damage and a very slight twist to it. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can find a good condition trunk. That way we don't have to mess around with that. So if you guys have a good condition trunk for a F82 M4, please leave a comment down below and I'll be able to buy that from you guys if you guys are selling it. But besides that, here are the taillights. They're absolutely stunning. I'll show you guys how they sequentially light up in the next episode because it kind of looks funky with all the different colors going on here. It's making the taillights not look as good as imagine all this being painted. No, but anyways, we're gonna get that. I'll show you guys that in the next episode. Besides that, everything's done. We do have some funky business going on over here. Not too sure what's going on here. Why is it sticking out so much? This is a squared set of TE37s, and it's doing this on one side and the other side is nice and flush. So I'm not sure if that's something to do with alignment since we did change everything over here. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it's nothing major because we don't want to run into any more issues. But besides that, I want to go ahead and say thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. If you guys are still here, go ahead and comment down below, still here, or BYB fam or something like that, so I know you guys are watching these videos to the very end. Besides that, smash that like button, follow me on Instagram, BYB Tim, follow Ed the Editor at BYB Ed, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one. The next one's the best one. Peace out.